Car World? Let's ask Brian Bishop from the Car Store.
Brian Bishop.
Hey, good day. How are you guys?
What's new in the car world, and we also have to ask you. Lee has to ask you a question.
Well, you know what, Lee? You're always first in my mind, so go ahead.
Well, thank you. I have a question for you. Have you checked into or looked at the new Ford Maverick pickup truck?
I have heard about it, but I have not looked into it. Now you've piqued my interest. The Maverick. Well, I think Maverick. I think of the old. They used to have the Maverick back in the 70s.
Yeah, the Maverick, like the Comet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I used to have.
No, but this is a new pickup truck. They offer a hybrid engine, four-wheel drive for a very, very fair price. It's it's almost like the new pickup driver's version of a pickup. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It looks like a Honda Ridgeline.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yes.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Yes, they're Honda.
It's a great price, and it's got a lot of good features.
You know what's interesting about that is that when you look at some of the prices of these vehicles, like you were talking about the Grand Cherokee that was coming out, right? Was that the one that you were talking about last week?
Yeah, I think you could buy six of
Grand Wagoneer.
Grand Wagoneer.
Grand these for one.
Yeah, it's the one that started out at like 80,000.
Yeah, and I think the Ford Bronco has been somewhat slightly priced above my comfort level, but this will be interesting. The Ford Maverick pickup, I like it.
All right, just so everybody knows, the starting price, $19,995.
That's unheard of these days.
Brand
new?
new?
Unheard of.
Brand new.
Yep. Well,
and you can get four-wheel drive, I think, for just about $30.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Oh, I see. Though, if you want tires on it,
yeah, that's right, and an engine.
There's a key fee.
I was going to start
it.
No, it's pretty good.
I'm going to do a little research into that. But interestingly enough, I don't know where this came from, but my next topic in my mind kind of ties into what Lee's talking about, affordability, being able to be on the road for a while, as long with you're talking about the debt ceiling and all the great decisions that our leaders, our elected leaders are making. Ultimately, I guess we're responsible. We put them in there. But I want to talk about something. Everybody's mentioning electric cars, right? The EU wants to have 100% electric car production. They want combustion engines no longer being made by like Volkswagen and Mercedes, and I think Volvo has already made that commitment, and Subaru. But here's the funny thing. Formula One. Remember Formula One racing?
Yes.
Of course. I think, was it Mario Andretti was one of my favorite guys back in the day. It's the only guy I can remember as a kid because I had the AFX Mario Andretti speed set, the little slot cars when I was a kid. They are actually trying to keep the internal combustion engine alive. They're talking about creating a 100% sustainable fuel that is used in internal combustion engines, but has a zero net carbon dioxide effect. In other words, it's not going to put any more in. It's not going to take any more out. It's going to be zero. This is what they're working on. I thought that was fascinating because here's the economic realities of our world, guys. Right now, EVs, electric vehicles, are on fire. They're just on fire. This has been a big, huge year for EVs, but it really only accounts for 3.8% of all the total purchases made in the first half of 2021. So it's not like it's dominating the market. And they're actually estimating that by 2030 that globally, only 8% of the world's vehicles will be electric vehicles. So you're still talking 92% of the cars on the road will be the internal combustion engine. So what are we going to do to be able to maintain things and keep going? Otherwise, I guess we're not going anywhere. But here's what they're doing. In 2022, they've already changed their fuel away from the high octane to the basically 87 octane gas. That's what they're running in F1 cars now. They're saying that in 2025, when they produce their new engines with the new regulations, they're going to have a 100% sustainable fuel, which is going to use elements from various potential sources. But the idea is that you are going to be able to take municipal waste, agricultural waste, other biomass food, whatever it is, and produce a fuel that does not pollute the environment. I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's amazing.
It is, because, and here's the thing, it's not done yet. They're actually in talks with various production companies to make it happen. But they must feel pretty confident in 2021 to be able talking about, look, our new engines in 2025 will follow the regulations that are being put out, but they're going to have this new fuel, and they're envisioning this fuel actually being available to all of the masses, which I find promising because, we need that. We need some good news in the world, and I'll just take the F1 Formula Racing team as good news. Thanks for producing a fuel, hopefully, that'll actually be synthetic, sustainable, and does not pollute, but allows us to continue to keep our cars on the mowers, on the road, or on the lawns. That's what's new in the car world.
That's great. I'd like them to teach them how to make a car that turns to the right.
Yes, that would be
cool
nice.
for those guys.
Yeah.
We got this sustainable fuel thing. We just don't have any way to turn the thing to the right.
Look.
Now, you know, you had mentioned a statistic.
Yeah.
That I thought was very interesting. You said that everywhere you turn, we're talking about EV cars, electric vehicles. I mean, right? I mean, Lee, you hear about it all the time. Coach,
Right.
now,
Yeah.
all of us, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Brian said only 3% of the market
Right now, yeah.
right now, and going up to, what did you say, 8%?
They estimate that only 8% of the 1.8 billion cars that are going to be on the road in 2030 will be fully electric. So that we're still a long way from making that transition.
But it's amazing how excited we all are about the electric vehicles.
Sure.
And this reminds me, I looked up this stat yesterday for a reason. 5.6% of the population fit into the LGBTQ community.
Yes.
5.6%. And look at the again, the marketing people for the electric vehicles
Yes.
and the marketing people for the LGBTQ
Must be the same
community.
agency.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
I give them so much credit. Look what they have done. This
But-
is amazing. What is this formula that they're doing that the rest of us can't do?
I think
I mean,
I think what it comes down to in all reality is that people want change. People want to do what's right for the environment. They want to do what's right for the
Yeah,
society.
they want change. I want change. Whap my penis up.
Whoa!
What's the most
man.
drastic change I can make?
Jeez. Yeah, I want change.
Long story short, I think that's what it actually is that we are now in a mindset of change, and we're buying into the vision because they've been talking about these issues for decades, and now you're starting to see the return on investment, especially when it comes like to the environment, which is what I'm going to stick to. As far as in the auto world, they've been talking about electric cars for a long time. I remember they were trying propane cars with municipalities back a few years ago. They may still be doing that, but the bottom line is finding an alternative to what we've been doing and what we've been using is always the vision of the future. So we'll see what happens.
You know, you go back. You talk about the vision of the future and the cars and everything else. Dr. Emmett Brown
Yes,
is where you need to go with this thing. You remember him?
I think I do. He sounds very familiar. Was he a judge on TV? I'm just joking.
No, he was not.
Joe
Al, do you remember
Brown.
Dr. Emmett Brown?
I do. The problem with that was the amount of gigawatts you required to make that thing happen.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Better stop.
Exactly. He needed plutonium.
Oh,
because
doctor!
he was
Oh, wait
the-
a minute.
He was the guy.
I'm in. I'm taking you serious, Bulldog. And then I realize you're
Can't
talking
do
about
that.
Back to
One
the
of the most
Future.
disturbing movies of all time.
Fool! Don't take him serious.
It's like I feel so stupid. One of the greatest car movies ever made with that DeLorean, and I totally did not pick up on Dr. Emmett Brown. Man, it is definitely
All right.
Wednesday morning. Hey,
You guys
come
ever-
see us
have
at the
you
car
guys
store. What?
Have you ever had a DeLorean over there at the car store?
Not recently. I've seen a few in my time, but not very many. But if you're looking for a car that'll, I guess that's the one that won't rust because it's stainless steel, right? That was the big deal. Wasn't that? Yes. Come see us.
Yeah.
We've got all sorts of vehicles that utilize aluminum and steel and other fiberglass because we got some Corvettes on the lot. Check out the carstoreonline.com, mytruckstoreonline.com. If you need vehicle, we can help you with that. We can actually help put you in a car or truck that you'll actually like, you'll actually enjoy, and you can drive for many years to come. And hopefully this fuel will be here so you can still drive it past 2030.
Very good. And drive yourself over to the car store and truck store.
I
Thank
will.
You, Brian. Appreciate it, man.
All right, brother. Take care.
Have a great day. That was enlightening today.
Yes,
Very
see you, man.
enlightening.
All right, bye.